Hey, don't get me wrong. I love drawing huge stuff. Gigantic stuff, literally Godzilla size. But if you like something, you gotta also know the completely opposite of that thing that you enjoy drawing. That's it for today, champ. That's it, bye. So, what do I mean by that? If I want to draw a character that's like gigantic, just like you're seeing in this artwork, I gotta be someone that understands how to draw small things, a small background, a small character in the background, or a small stairs and small portraits and everything ultra gigantic small. Ultra small. So, if you like drawing hands, you gotta also learn how to draw arms. If you like drawing faces, you gotta also learn how to draw bodies. I always think that if you want to like even more, even deeper to draw a specific thing, you gotta also be good at the very opposite or almost opposite thing. So we start with a sketch, very powerful, ooh, I'm a demon, what you gonna do, I'm gigantic, Godzilla, After that, you may think, she's going to add, grayish, black and white stuff. No, I'm adding basic colors. In this step, you're always going to find me or adding grayish, black and white levels, or I'm just going full in with colors, because I just want to add basic colors and I like colors, I love colors. Do you like colors? I love colors. Comment below, I love colors if you love colors. And after making a great selection in the light, I select only a few places to receive light from the moon. That's right, there's light from the moon. The moon is very important, and also light in the wings, but I still did not know that the wings was going to be this such a gigantic neon and everything shining like a party and a rave, and I was going to sing a nightcore right now. Not right now. No, I'm not going to get Cop Striker again. No. After moonlight, I was adding the wings light and the stripes mark and the horns light and anything that is bluish light. And by adding it, I was starting to connect neurons. I was starting to make my monkey brain work. And my monkey brain was all the time, if there is neon light here, is it going to reflect in this other area? Is it going to affect the color in this other area? When drawing neon, when drawing strong colors, you gotta always be focusing on, how does this affect the ambient? Just like in Baldur's Gate, when no gaps, not everyone here plays video games like that one that you're addicted. Just like when you're playing a video game, not going to say names, blink, blink. You gotta also be thinking, oh, so here, if I do this specific action in this place, how is this going to affect me? How is this going to affect the characters around me? How is it going to affect the ambient? You gotta be thinking all the time of all those things. All of them. And do you think you can think of all of it if you're in a rush and going crazy and blah blah blah? Well, no. The only way that you can do if you still want to be rushed like Sonic is by taking notes before starting to draw. That's a great thing that nobody really talks about. Have you ever thought about taking notes before going to draw? Like, hey, I'm going to pay attention this, and it's going to affect background and this object and this anatomy and this muscle, and also I'm going to add this, and blah, 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 blah. The name of this is called planning. Planning can get you ahead of so many things and so much stuff. I recommend a lot to start planning. And if you do not want to plan, if you are like me, that's like, oh, I have the time, I can just go and draw a little bit more, I can keep on going, try to just do this exercise of thinking right now at the time that you're drawing. That's how I prefer. And if someone here also have a slow learning process, I recommend doing both at the same time. Take notes before starting to already understand what's your objective, and then after you start focusing on right now what I took from my notes plus what I'm thinking right now. What can I get from both? What can I do with both? Big thinking moment, big monkey brain moment. I'm not going to do monkey noises, not this time. So after fixing the whole ambient light, did you think we were going to fix the whole ambient light one time? I believe I was fixing the ambient light in this artwork like 4, 6, 7 times until I got like, okay, I like it. I tend to be very mad with my art. I want high standards. And it makes sense. The more you are a pro, the longer you are drawing, the more there is a freaking ambulance passing behind you in the street. So the more professional you are, the more you tend to go like, no, more. I think that's the name of the effect Dunning-Kruger, that the more you know about something, the more you're like, nah, this is not good enough. And the less you know about something, the more you're like, nah, I'm perfect at it. I'm the best. I think the name is the effect of Dunning-Kruger. Dunning-Kruger. And if we are going to talk about effects, there is another effect that I gotta talk with you guys. That is the 80-20 rule. It's the Pareto rule. Is that how you say in English? Yeah, Pareto rule, principle of Pareto. That's 20% of your results will give 20% of your actions are going to give you 80% of the results. And that's extremely right. It's absurd. In the first few hours of the artwork, I already got my whole composition done. And the rest, like the 80% rest, is purely rendering. And in only 20% of the time, I already got the full composition. And I already noticed artists like from Blizzard or League of Legends, they already have the same thing going on. They already got the finest composition the first 4 or 5 hours, and the next 50 hours just rendering. So, whenever you are going to pass through a long time drawing or you are starting out a drawing, focus on the actions that you can take that is going to take you the furthest, that is going to help you the most. Not a specific detail in the armpit because that detail is so specific. No. Focus on big picture. Always focus on zooming out of your artwork. Yes, zoom out. I have noticed right now in this end of 2023 that I tend to zoom in too much, specifically on my sketch and line art process. And I noticed this was making my process even much more slower, even more painful, even more, I don't like it. And I was starting to hate doing those processes even more. But then I noticed that when I'm drawing on paper, I love it. So what was happening? I know what was happening. I was zooming in all the freaking time on my Photoshop. And so the process was 10 times, 100 times larger than it should be. My number one recommendation for you champs, don't zoom in. Whenever you can, don't zoom in. Only when you're rendering. Is this rendering? No, don't zoom in. Don't zoom in. Don't make a zoom in. Don't look into every single detail. Only when it's rendering, only when it's getting the juicy details into your character. By the way, have you checked out the chest of this character? He totally is bench pressing 405, the true and only 405. Let me see what more can I give of tips here. Okay, that's a big tip. If your artwork, this is for everyone that likes very dark scenes, very creepy or horror, or just night scenes, everything's darker because this scene is very dark. Even if there's a lot of light, this is very dark. You gotta make sure that you're not getting totally into pure black. There's a difference drawing something with strong pure black when most of your artwork is not going to get close to that pure black, and when most of the colors are going to get close to that pure black. Because when you take a look at your finished artwork on the phone, everything's going to look much more with much more contrast, and let's say you're going to probably regret what you have done, what you have created, and think, damn, it was not like that when I was drawing. Yes, it does happen. It already happened to me. It is frustrating, but your power right now with the tips that I'm giving to you is stronger. We are stronger together. We are. So at the very end of everything, I start doing something. Called turning on exposure and turning down offset, or turning up offset. The setting that makes your artwork not so black. The more into grayish tones, everything like, oh, it's not so strong, it's much more grayish. I made it on everything, and I was studying again League of Legends art, comparing their artwork right now with their past artwork, and I noticed that they are doing, number one, much darker artwork, and number two, much more with the offset setting on. They understand that most of their fans are going to use their phones to see it at some time, so they already make it not a pure black, but close to pure black. They want the full range of colors, and even if someone wants to make a poster or anything like that, it's much better to not have such a dark color if your artwork is so like nighttime, dark theme. Oh, I'm a vampire. That's right. If it's a vampire theme, it's a vampire theme. You already got it. You understand what I'm saying. So that's right. Whenever doing big pictures like this one, you gotta understand that you cannot stop. You gotta understand that you're going to pass through some crazy stuff, but you're going to keep going. And remember, it's not about just getting faster and faster and faster. It's about not stopping. There's a difference between just getting faster, faster, and faster, better, 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 and focusing on not stopping, focusing on consistency. Consistency is going to take you really, really far away. And I mean that. I want your champs to be drawing the way you want, the characters that you want, the best way possible. You deserve that happiness. You deserve to have that craft in your hands to say, hey, I'm doing this by my hand, and not some kind of crazy prompt or some kind of, I don't know, anything that you may be thinking right now. You deserve to be able to draw your characters the best way possible. Also, I have an announcement if I have not done in other videos. I finally, officially have a full art course. That's right, you can draw learning with me. It's pretty much the all-in, but as a course with much I'm serious, much more stuff. I cannot even joke about it because I know how painful it was to make all the plus 50 extra lessons. There's a lot of lessons from very beginners to very professional people to learn, and mindset and performance and tips and past live events that I did so you can rewatch it. And everything is in a way that it feels like you're following a road, following a journey, so you feel like, oh, I'm going this direction, I'm making something happen. Not just like the all-in pack that was like, oh, and here's the folder of anatomy, let's learn how to draw anatomy, and you start by any class because it doesn't matter. No. Now I'm holding your hand a little bit more. And you also get a VIP role on our Discord server. That's right, now you're a VIP and you have access to hidden channels and also access to me because I'll be replying to your questions. Yes, that's excellent. I know. I just want to help you guys even more. I'm taking the feedbacks that I can on helping you champs and I'm applying it. Little by little, we are building a strong and beautiful community. You guys are amazing. Have I said this today? Champs, you're amazing. You're loved. You're incredible. All the love of the peace. Bye bye.